We also had another question where there was a situation where a valuer that was contracted to do the general valuation role in the city, and the Valuation Appeal Board was called for appeals that was submitted. The municipal valuer who was contracted at that stage had many compliance issues that was raised by the Valuation Appeal Board. But the most worrying was that his designation as municipal valuer wasn't in place. What measures or safeguards are there in place to ensure municipal valuers compliance with all the regulations that's stipulated in the MPRA? And furthermore, in cases where municipal valuers fail to meet compliance requirements, what remedies or action can a municipality pursue? So if you maybe can come in there, Veronica, I would appreciate that.
Look, unfortunately, the law says you must designate. At the end of the day, it is an administrative act that the municipality must do. You know, it must undertake it. You must designate the municipal valuer or the assistant municipal valuer, whoever it is that is going to be the person conducting the general valuation, and who's going to be responsible for that valuation role for whatever period of time it is. And I mean, we consistently talk to municipalities about how important this is. It's a procedure. Unfortunately, it's a procedure. It has to be done by the council, and there has to be a record of it, that it has been done, that so-and-so has been designated. If it isn't done, there will always be the question of challenging it, and there will always be a chance that someone can take it up and pursue it, and it could work against the municipality. Unfortunately, there are, you cannot say that there are remedies. Once it gets to the court, it will be up to the court to look at all of the evidence. I'm sure Llewellyn can come in there on that. However, the only thing is that we support them, we remind them, we always get into the picture in the year that the municipality is going to start putting together a new valuation role. These are the things that we sit with municipalities about, to say, these are the steps you need to take. There are steps. There's a step-by-step guide on a number of things, and they know what to do first, second, and so on. And these, unfortunately, because the Property Rates Act operates within a strict legislative environment, all of the boxes have to be ticked. If one of them is not ticked, then it can be taken up by any person who's aggrieved. And in fact, any person who's aggrieved by anything. By the way, the person may not even be aggrieved about that issue. They may be aggrieved about something else. And this may just become something else that they add onto the case. So there's really nothing else to back up the municipality except to support that municipality and tell them to ensure that they do all of these things.
Sorry, Cobus, can I perhaps come in here?
Yes, I wanted to give over to you. Thanks, Dean. Please come in.
I just want to turn Veronica's statement back on her here quickly.
Yeah.
The issue of municipalities and non-compliance with the MPRA, isn't it maybe time that COGTA appoints a compliance officer, especially for these smaller municipalities. Larger municipalities have the municipal valuer, which is usually on permanent staff, who make sure with the internal legal team that all the compliance issues have been sorted out and are good in that. But on smaller municipalities, especially I look at the Northern Cape and here in the Western Cape, where municipalities have properties, let's say less than 50,000 or less properties on a general valuation roll. They don't have any compliance officer to go and check whether what the municipal valuer has done is in keeping with the spirit of the MPRA. And I've had a recent experience now where a member of the rates department was actually checking whether the municipal valuer was compliant in what he did. And basically their check was to check the values on the new GV against the values on the old GV. And if there were any discrepancies, they noted that to the municipal valuer. But anything else that needed to be complied with was not done, including the issue of the appointment of the municipal valuer and the registration of the municipal valuer. Thank you.
No, thank
Yeah.
you, Dean.
Look, are you saying a compliance officer within the structure of each of these municipalities, or someone
Yes.
at national?
No, well, either way, it could be somebody at national who comes down to a particular municipality and maybe does checks on the valuation role and whether all the provisions in terms of the MPRA have been complied with. I know in one or two of the smaller municipalities in the Northern Cape, that compliance part of it is actually for their internal legal advisor. He acts as the compliance officer to make sure that everything that the municipal value has done is actually correct and in the spirit of the MPRA.
Yeah, I think it's a good point that you raise, and I wish that this had been done. You know how the MFMA was done, and how the MFMA provided for, firstly, provincial treasuries, and then they provided for the structure of what the municipal finance function must look like, and it provided for the kinds of people who should be in there. That opportunity was missed with the Property Rates Act. So the Act doesn't actually have any regulatory framework to say such and such a person must be appointed to do this, that, and the other. But be that as it may, here we are. The issue with smaller municipalities is they do lack capacity. They cannot even appoint some of these people, and they cannot even attract them in most instances. Most people don't want to go and work in those small specific areas. What we do at national, I think, we are trying to build our capacity to support the municipalities, especially the smaller ones, with getting them to pick up on a number of these issues. We have two valuers. That's the extent of the capacity that the national government has given us at this stage now. There is the Office of the Valuer General, which we are thinking about bringing on board as additional capacity, and they are very willing to come on board to assist us with a number of these valuation issues, because at the end of the day, we're never going to actually get the capacity into those smaller municipalities. So it's going to rely on some kind of capacity to assist them, especially around these valuation things. Firstly, there are those technical issues that that Ben was talking about, for them to be able to look into the valuation role and make sense of those issues. And secondly, to deal with some of these other simpler administrative issues, which, by the way, don't require expertise. I mean, it doesn't require expertise to get something to council to say, this is the person we've appointed. Can this person be designated as a municipal valuer? But be that as it may, it often doesn't happen. In fact, there have been instances where we have spoken to provincial officials who end up having to go into a municipality, and this is a true story, provincial official having to go into a municipality, get the municipality to put an item on the agenda, themselves go and sit with the municipal officials in the council meeting to get a person designated as a municipal valuer. Now, that tells you a lot about that municipality. For someone from outside to have to come in, put the item there, and actually be part of the council meeting to get council to approve something as simple as a designation of a municipal valuer doesn't require expertise. It just requires you to do a few administrative things. So yes, it's an issue. We know about it. It's something that we can't all sit at a municipality, because municipalities are state organs in their own right. They should really appoint people who are capable of undertaking their responsibilities. But all we can do is be a support. And we are looking into that, I think, from our perspective as a department, and to tap into the Office of the Valuer General to assist some of these municipalities. But this is something that's going to happen in the medium term, not tomorrow. But it's a valid point.
Right, no. Thanks, Veronica.